Hello everyone, how are we all doing today? Welcome to Narent's very first layer breakdown video. My name is Ayodeji and I'll be guiding you through the process today. In this segment, we're just going to talk about an art piece I did a while back that people actually really loved and wanted me to do a breakdown video of. I can't show you the video process due to the fact that when I initially did this piece, the last thing on my mind was to start a YouTube video, so there's no documentation of my process. So the best I can do right now is show you my layer breakdown and narrate exactly what was going through my mind or why I decided to do exactly what I did in the video. So let's begin. This is the very first thing every artist knows: a blank canvas. This process of your design can be extremely scary at times due to the fact that you don't know exactly what you're about to put down. But if you've done your necessary process from conception in your mind to a couple of sketches, no matter how ugly the sketches might be, it could be a literal stick figure, but as long as it gets the message across to you that this is exactly what you want to do. So when I started Lepido, the butterfly goddess, I had a different vision for her entirely. The vision I had for her was just to make her wearing all black with black gloves to get to your elbows, a black hat that covers her face, and then a blood red lipstick. So with then butterflies swarming around her to give her this kind of airy look. But down the line, searching for images online, you definitely know how that goes. I couldn't find an image that accentuated the point that I wanted to show. So after searching for alternative images, I came up with this beauty. I really love the picture that you're seeing right now. It shows a kind of serenity toward the model, and I felt that it would go well with Lepido, the butterfly goddess. So then let the process begin. After I got this image, I actually thought of removing the background and putting out in a different frame or a different scene rather. But looking at it, I felt that why don't I just work? I already like this picture and I like the composition of this picture. Why don't I just work with my photo manipulations to definitely just bring out the beauty of these pictures better instead of starting over? So she already has a certain type of lighting. I can already see where the light is eating her. So instead of me trying to change the lighting everywhere or try to force my own on top of the image, I decided instead to just make all my photo manipulation react to what is already there. And that is my process for this image. So the next thing we're gonna do is search for butterfly images. It could take a while, but you will definitely see some good ones. And then I came up with this butterflies. These are the butterflies that are going to swarm across her and glue on her. So from here, I thought of what next to do. Well, the next thing I decided to do was, it's going to be a 9th time art. I don't know why, but I'm a real fan of 9th time arts. It's just something I've always loved doing. And you will see a lot of my manipulations. Yeah, I do a couple of other different types, but I somehow always drift back to 9th time arts. So I decided to make everywhere dark, and it being nighttime will really make the glows pop compared to something glowing in the daytime. So using my brightness adjustment layer, let me just quickly disable this layer. We don't need it right now. I reduced the darkness of the image. Doing that made everywhere seem dark. Light is not technically about darkness, but more of lack of light. I don't know if that's made sense to you guys. So after making everywhere dark, I also decided to give a kind of 9th time feel. And when you think of midnight, you think of like a midnight blue. So using my hue saturation layer, I decided to do this. Down the road or down the line, I decided, okay, now it just feels that the lady herself is now blue, and she feels more like Mystique from X-Men compared to like a butterfly goddess. So I didn't want her skin to be blue. I decided to take my brush to reduce the opacity to a certain level. Doing that enabled me to take the brush to the layer mask and slowly brush away some parts. Reducing the opacity doesn't make the image lack blue entirely, but it reduces it to a certain way it is useful. So if I just enable my layer mask here, you can see that our color reduced a bit. Definitely she's still somewhat blue, but it's better than the initial form. Going further, I decided that, okay, what next am I supposed to do to make this photo manipulation move around? Well, the butterflies need to glow, right? So I decided to add in the glows. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did this, and it's a very simple process, but it's something that not a lot of people know. To do this, let me go back to my previous butterfly layer, which is this. I simply press Ctrl I, and this inverts the butterfly to a form of negative that just really works well. I apologize if you can hear some background noise. I am not recording this in my studio, I'm doing it at home, and there's a limit to how much I can reduce the sound quality of my house. So going further, so I'll just try to talk louder so that the background won't disturb you as much. So going further, I decided that this particular character, or rather butterfly, that is bigger than the rest is closer to the camera, so it needs to be blurry compared to others. To do that, I decided that I will put it on a different layer where I can manipulate it differently compared to the other butterflies, and that is where we got this. If you look, two of these butterflies are blurry because they are more out of focus than the rest. They're a bit behind them, if you could say. The camera didn't focus well on them. Now, as we slowly go further into our photo manipulation, you see this. This is the blue butterfly. I took it to a different layer and then inverted it on its own separate layer. So it is no longer a group compared to the other ones. I could have done every butterfly individually, but I just felt it was a waste of process. So I just joined them together after putting them in positions that made sense, and then grouped them together. So now going further, I brought the blue butterfly in, and it was fantastic on its own way. I gave the butterfly shadows because of, as long as they are reacting with an object and there's a form of light somewhere, they will generate shadows. So brushing the butterfly's shadows, I took the brush tool and then I just slowly brushed under the butterfly layers to get this shadow. So after a reduced opacity and also a bit of Gaussian blur, I got this. Now that I even look at it, I feel like I should reduce the opacity even more to just simulate a better shadow with a little less strength in it. So now as we go further, the next thing is the butterfly's glow. I know right now they look somewhat magical, but they're not exactly glowing per se. And now is to do the butterfly's glow. How would we do that? It's simple. We use the same inverted layer, assuming you've already inverted your layers. Let me just duplicate this one. So what I'm doing is creating a copy of my inverted layer. Then I go to my filter, Gaussian blur, and voila. If I should show you when I actually go to the Gaussian blur, to the blur gallery, Gaussian blur, you can see here I can change exactly how I feel the glow should be. And if I feel like I've gotten to a certain amount that it's alright, like let's say here, I then go to my layers panel, go to my blending options and click on screen. This gives the layer a certain glow to it for the butterflies. Alright then, so I do the same thing to the blue butterfly. I think I'll just refer to the foreground butterfly or front butterfly. Doing the same thing gives it its own glow. The same, using the Gaussian blur, putting it on screen will give you the same effect, and then the other butterfly glows. Now we are halfway done. Next thing I decided to do is that I felt that this foreground butterfly, I wanted it to just look more unique than the rest, even though it's just a foreground butterfly. This is just my own artistic spin on things. It doesn't really come from a place of a principle or something. I just felt like, let's be unique. and so I decided to change the color a bit, experimenting with various colors using hue saturation panels and whatnot. I got this, which I was very much happy with. But as you can see now, we've been manipulating the butterfly, but we've not actually touched the model extensively. And this is because of, I felt that, you know, we're trying to get the lighting of the model just right, and now we need to show the glow. So everywhere the glow shows, the model will then react on it. So now I just put more butterfly glows. I accomplished this using the brush tool, and then just slowly brushed around them, and then I used a blending option that just suited everything. If I remember correctly, the blending option I used was an overlay or screen. So now we are almost done. The next thing is just to put the bokeh, I hope I pronounced that right, bokeh lighting. This is basically the end of the photo manipulation. Now all we have to do is show the lightings of the butterfly on the lady, and I've already done that, and as you can see, everything kind of comes together. But when I was done with the photo manipulation, I decided that I feel I can just go a bit further by using the camera raw option. If you go to here, filter, camera raw, shift control A, you would see a window will pop up that you can really do a lot of fine-tuning in. I decided to try a couple of them. I thought, what about if I make the lady purple? What I did here was I just took my completed image, because I'm not going to touch more of this, and then pressing the Ctrl Shift Alt E option, it will create a completed duplicate. Now you can see here. So I decided that, okay, with that duplicate now, what can I do with it? I thought, what if I made the lady blue, purple rather? How would it look? I felt, okay, it looks a bit mystical or magical, but I feel it's a bit much. I even tried reducing the opacity. I tried some other method. I just didn't resonate with it. Then again, I thought, what if I just made the blues really pop out more? I looked at that. It was fantastic, but I felt now the blue is a bit strong. As you can see on this glow here, where you can see that it feels like it's getting a bit of a sharp edge towards it. So after a couple more fine-tuning, I got this, and this I was happy with. A tiny bit of blue, a tiny bit of purple, a reduced opacity, and I got something that really worked well, which I really loved. And so that was how I got Lepido, the butterfly lady. Now I just looked at the fact that, what about if all these butterflies are just the ones that are in the focus of the camera, but there could still be some that are outside the camera's frame. So I decided that, alright, let me just show glows to accentuate that. So this is just showing that butterflies are outside the camera's depth. They are also lightings, and if you looked, I also brushed the air using some rim light effects and some other things just to show that yes, their glows are still touching the lady. And that was basically the end of it. Down the line, I decided, alright, let me just put my Narent logo, let me put my signature on the work, and I was done. The next thing was just to prepare it for social media, because of the dimension is a bit too big for Instagram, I think. So that was it. Then putting my Narent logo and my signature, I got Lepido, the butterfly woman. So as you can see, when my process, I know I might have shown it to be a bit straightforward, but it wasn't so. It took a lot of cleaning and deleting and changing and twisting. So even though it looks very straightforward, I think it took me around 3 hours to actually get the concept right, because if I had to change the concept on the go due to the fact that I couldn't get an image that suited the whim of my design, so I needed to change some things to make the work still beautiful. And that's how I came up with this concept. So I think the time it took me was 3 hours. The layers were around 22 or 23. There were more than that actually, but after I looked and I said, okay, this was not needed, let me delete this one, let me delete this one, let me merge these ones together, I got this amount of layers. But the original layers were around 50, I think. Yeah, around 50. And extremely scattered. You might see my layer, you might see that I numbered it and I arranged it, but all this was just for the YouTube video. My original layer was just scattered, and the best I could do was just group the layers and name the layers, but name the groups rather, not the layers. That's my work. That's how my workflow is. So I really hope that you just having a bit of visit into my mind frame and how my mindscape and exactly how I do this work was helpful for you. We're going to be doing a lot of this kind of layer breakdown with narrations down the line, just so that you guys will always be able to feel exactly what we feel when we are doing the work. So I really hope that this has been a fantastic experience for you guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe to get to see more of this kind of layer breakdown videos and some other tutorials we'll be doing. We're not just limited to photo manipulations. We'll also show you how we do logos, how we do flyers, how we do other version of identity designs and every other thing. This is just a fun escape from the work we do, just so that you guys will understand that we do more. So just don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, so that we can grow our fan base and we'll be able to help a lot of other people get to the level that we are at. So thank you guys, and have a wonderful day.